Hello, welcome to Escape the Box Piano. It's Dan here. I'm working on a Boogie Woogie tutorial at the moment, and as a result of that I have developed almost like a little sub-tutorial, which is what this video is all about. I figured that it would be really great to give you guys a kind of like primer exercise to develop your left hand technique. One of the great things, or one of the essential things about Boogie Woogie, in my opinion, is that the left hand has to be absolutely rock solid in what it's doing. It has to deliver the absolute fundamental base upon which all the stuff that you do in the right hand kind of flies over the top. But unless you have got absolute precision and control in the left hand, it's always going to fall apart. So this is a little tutorial to kind of strengthen that and set down a pattern in the left hand that I'm going to use in the next Boogie Woogie tutorial that I do. First of all, let's have a listen to what we're going to aim for in this tutorial. The great thing about that little pattern is that you can loop that over and over to your heart's content. Let's break it down into small bite-sized information. First of all, let's take a look at the all-important left hand. Here's middle C. We're going to go down 1 octave, we're going to go down 2 octaves, 5th finger on the C here, 2 octaves below middle C. Let's take a look at the pattern. We're going to play C twice, and then A with our thumb. And bear in mind the fingering here is absolutely critical. Unless you develop a repeatable fingering that is consistent, it is always going to fall apart at a faster speed if you can't do that at a slow speed. So pay real attention to the fingering here. So 5th finger on the C twice, and then thumb on the A, then 3rd finger on the E. Now move your thumb from the A to the G, play the G, and then play C again with our 5th finger, and then thumb back on the A, 2nd finger on the G, and that pattern repeats 4 times. One of the things that makes Boogie Woogie what it is a real heavy swing, and by that I mean that the notes are not all equal lengths in the left hand. It's kind of like a long and then a short, so long, short, long, short, long, short. That's the kind of rhythm that you apply to each pair of notes. After you've played that C pattern twice, we're going to move our hand up from C, 5th finger on the C, to 5th finger on the F. The pattern with the fingers is absolutely identical. Here's the notes. F twice, D, and then A, and then C, back to the F, and then the D, C, play that again, and back to the pattern on C, play it twice round. Where we've just left off with that G, we're going to play that G immediately again, but this time not with the 2nd finger. We're going to move so that our 5th finger's on the G, and again we've got this pattern up here now. Here are the notes: G twice, E, and then B, and then D, G, E, D, move down so that we're on the F, 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 D, A, C, F, D, C, and then back down to the C, 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 A, E, G, C, A, G, and if you want to finish, just play a stab on C. Okay, now you've got to spend about 1 million hours practicing this until it is absolutely robotic. It's in muscle memory. Not a finger goes wrong. If you're a beginner here and you're just starting out, expect to fall over yourself for ages. Don't worry, it's part of the learning process. Use a metronome. A metronome is your friend here. Let's try starting, for example, 70 beats per minute on the metronome. You could start slower, you can start faster. Find a speed that your brain can process where your fingers are going at, if that makes sense. Here's 70 beats per minute. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. That's the speed. Here we go. Okay, as I said, practice religiously with a metronome, and when you're comfortable, when you finally get comfortable with that pattern at one speed, then notch up the metronome, maybe 5 beat per minute increments. So if you're starting at 70, then you'd go to 75. And then 80. And just keep going. If you really want to be a Boogie Woogie superstar, then a tempo that you would ideally aim for is about 180 beats per minute. You're going to get kind of the sweet spot. A lot of Boogie Woogies played around that kind of blisteringly fast tempo. So here's what 180 beats per minute sounds like on a metronome. And here's what the pattern sounds like. Okay, the challenge isn't over yet. We are going, once you've now developed this left hand and you think you're pretty solid with it, we're going to put in some real simple stuff in the right hand just to challenge your ability to stay in control in the left hand. So let's just have a look at what we're going to do in the right hand first. Here's middle C. We're just going to play some chord stabs, and the chord stabs look like this. The first chord that we're going to learn is G, C, E and G, and you're going to play it like that. Okay? So we're going to play chord stabs. I'll show you where they go against the left hand in a second. Let's take a look at the second chord that we're going to play. That's going to be A, C, E flat and G. So you can see that's not too far away from the first chord that we learnt. In fact, really all you have to do is move 2 fingers. Keep the second finger and the fifth finger where they are. Move the thumb to the A, the third finger to the E flat. Okay, the third chord, again, we really don't have to move too far away at all. In fact, we're just going to move these middle 2 fingers down a white note each. Going to keep the thumb and the fifth finger on the G. Now we've got second finger on the B, third finger on the D. And then that second chord that we learnt, and the first chord. Get comfortable moving between those chords. Okay, let's take a look at where they fit against the left hand. So, starting the pattern, we're going to start we're going to play one chord stab on the very first note of the pattern. Okay, let's take a look at where the right hand fits against the left hand. Effectively, the first chord stab happens on the very first note of the pattern. And then the second chord happens when we go back to the root note, in this case C. Play that again. And gradually speeding that up. You get the idea. It's when we move up our hand to the pattern beginning on F that we change the chords to the second chord that we learnt. And again, where that chord stab happens against the left hand is exactly the same timing wise as where it happened the first round. So on the F we play the stab. Now we go back to the F and we play the stab again. Play that again. And then back again. Okay, move to your third chord, fifth finger on the G, down to the F, that second chord that we learnt, first chord, back to C. And to finish, play the C and a stab, final stab of the chord in the right hand. Right now I'm going to play the entire sequence at 70 beats per minute with the metronome ticking so you can get a feel for what that looks and sounds like before you start speeding it up yourself. 2, 3, 4. And we're done. Well, I do hope you found this little left-hand Boogie Woogie primer useful. If you have, do like the video, leave some comments, subscribe to the channel for more great tutorials. Keep an eye out for the next Boogie Woogie tutorial that I release. It's gonna have the same left-hand pattern that you have just learnt. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon.